I just wanted to, for the talking portion of this, to maybe describe a little bit about what hooked me with Creative Commons and what made me take the big leap to use one of their licenses. I'm using the Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share Alike. I discovered Creative Commons actually a year ago. I started blogging. I had a lot to say, but I didn't know, I wasn't super tech savvy. But I started with just a blogger blog, and I thought, hey, I need to host my pictures somewhere. I started a Flickr, and I noticed that the copyright was a link. So I thought, why would copyright be a link? And that's when I opened my eyes. And I tried to learn everything I could, and then I noticed that Tribeca Film Festival was having a panel where someone was going to speak from Creative Commons. I went there, and I was intrigued. I asked a question at the end, and then Fred approached me afterwards and said he'd be happy to offer me some more thoughts. The question that I had, So the question that I had, it was like, I own all my own copyrights. I'm not signed to any label. I'm not signed to anybody. So how can I use this? And thank goodness I'm not signed to anybody, because I don't think they would let me do this. But I had all this freedom, so I think that was probably what Fred heard in my question. And he answered all my hundreds of questions. I thought and I thought and I thought about it. I knew 9 Inch Nails had done it, and I thought, okay, well, 9 Inch Nails did it, and they're, people love them. So obviously people will still, buy their albums, and that's what made me do it. 9 Inch Nails and Fred. And a lot of soul searching, I think. What? Is that hilarious? The other key thing I would say, I don't know if there's any other songwriters or creators in here, but a huge step that I had to take, in the beginning of my songwriting, I had a teacher who taught me piano, tried to claim ownership to my songs. And I was really traumatized by that. And I actually almost felt like I can never work with anybody again. I have to do everything by myself. And another teacher, a very close mentor, said to me, you stopped doing everything. You haven't done anything, and you're so afraid. So I took the big leap to kind of just get rid of that fear and think, okay, if somebody else tries to claim ownership to my songs, I'm just going to risk it. And I'm just going to meet new people and work with new people. And I realized that my songs are not me. They're something that I make, but they're not who I am. And so I was able to separate that. So now people can remix my songs, and I have no say over it. But I don't care, because it's out of my hands now. And I've mentally separated myself, and that's okay to have people remixing. And I'm excited. People have already been approaching me to remix the songs, so I'm hoping that, and you know what, maybe if we get a lot of amazing remixes, my label will put an album. Maybe we'll approach these people that have done things for free, and maybe we can put out their stuff. That's something that we're looking into. But yeah, that's kind of how I made the leap. I don't know how it's going to work for me in the future. I don't know, but I'm putting it out there, and I think this is a great first step, coming in front of you guys. I'd love to speak to people afterwards if anybody would like to talk about this kind of thing. But so far it's been pretty exciting. A little bit of a negative inputs from some music industry people, but mostly it's because they haven't looked into it themselves. They don't know about it, so they're confused by the new idea, and they're frightened by it, it seems like, when I first mention it to them. So, does anybody have any questions?
I want to say one thing.
Yeah.
I'm a music professional, and the one thing...
I loved your Pro Tools question.
The one thing that I've noticed is, I was reading, is it Corey Doctorow, or...
Yeah.
I was reading about his business model, and...
Is this the guy that, Fred, you were talking a lot about?
He's going to have a Creative Commons license. He's going to have a Creative Commons license, which is great. I think it's totally cool. And he's going to allow for the reproduction of his work online, and he posts the stuff online. I was reading part of his new book last night online, which is awesome. And he said, part of what's great about this is that I can still sell my hardcover book because people do want to read online. rather they want to read hard copy, right, rather than online, because it eventually hurts your eyes.
But I have an Amazon Kindle.
Yeah. But music is primarily consumed through satellites to computers, which is iPods. So for us in this industry, we need to figure out how to have it open and at the same time how to get paid. Because if it's a free, entirely free market, there needs to be some way to monetize it, because it's not gonna continue to exist.
Yeah, the fascinating thing I actually just recently heard at CMJ is that they found out that with Radiohead and 9 Inch Nails, who were offering these totally for free on their sites. I mean, with Radiohead you could offer money, but you don't have to. They found out that the exact same amount of people downloaded it for free because on the like BitTorrent stuff, just because they're used to that, and where they could have downloaded it for free on their own website. So I think it's almost like if you always buy on iTunes and somebody tells you they're offering their stuff for free, but you're like so used to buying on iTunes, it's one of those brand loyalty things. So I almost.
But what I'm saying is there's no way to push for monetization of something if the primary consumption is going to be on a computer and not iPod.
No, wait, can I just, sorry, we could go all night on this topic. So a lot of the fallacy that we're facing, that Creative Commons faces, is that the music industry is the same as the recording industry, is the same as the music industry kind of problem. And the basic idea is that it's not the only way of consumption. Like a lot of people do listen to music on their iPod or iTunes or whatever, but 9 Inch Nails and Radiohead both offer things that you couldn't reproduce, right? Like Radiohead's limited edition 8-gram vinyl was like limited edition, and 9 Inch Nails did the box set for $300, and they only made 2,500 of them. So all of those things sold out immediately because there's 1% of the fans that will immediately go for it and buy it. And so I think it's all just a lesson in selling things that aren't reproducible and making your business model as a record label or a musician around experiences like showing up at a concert, buying tickets, like box sets, that kind of thing. And human creativity is not going to stop. You know, people are still going to want to make music and have other people hear it. But I think what's dead is the ability to retail CDs, and I think we've all accepted that implicitly. So, but there's still plenty of value that musicians can bring to it, whether it's the original resolution tracks or that kind of thing. I mean, before this gets into an all-night discussion, I want Sarah to finish her last song.